Those who lead Broward schools are dealing with an onslaught of issues this week, from trying to choose a transformational new superintendent to safety concerns, bomb threats, and a series of weapon-like items brought to schools. A lot to talk about with school board member Dan Foganholi, who was among those with the governor in South Florida this week as he signed a series of bills into law that make wholesale changes to state education. Dan Foganholi, great to have you back on the program. Welcome.
Glenna, thank you so much, and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, sir. So I want to start with this morning, a little news this morning. There was an arrest. Someone arrested a 16-year-old for making bomb threats this week at Broward schools. And then you tweeted pictures of what looked like weapons. And it was like this series of security issues. Of course, since February 14th, 2018, security is top of mind with everyone in the Broward School District. What is happening? What's going on? Frame that for us.
Sure, and that's a good question, Glenna. Thank you so much for asking. And first thing I want to say is that our schools are safe. Our security team, SROs, guardians, our monitors, they do such a great job every day to make sure our schools are secure and for our kids to learn. So I want to say thank you to our great staff, and they do a great job. Things we've been seeing between threats and the reason why I was compelled to even tweet those pictures are we get those alerts every single day. Whether it be toys, but we've had situations with real weapons get onto our school campuses. It's really bothersome. So as a school board member, I know that my colleagues feel the same way. Not only is it upsetting, it gets us angry, but it really saddens us. Especially with the threats, we want to make sure that those things it's not a joke. We want to make sure that kids know that it may seem like a joke that you're going to be doing a threat to cause havoc and cause chaos, but we take those things serious, and we're going to take care of those situations as need to be.
So let me ask you about this sort of like a little backlash to a backpack idea, clear backpacks mandated as of next school year. Certainly so we were just talking here in the studio, no security effort is ever a bad thing, but practically speaking, what does this clear backpack really do? I mean, if someone means harm, there's certainly pockets and other ways. Tell me what you think clear backpacks would do for security.
For sure. And I never thought that I would be getting backlash for trying for more security, for pushing to make our schools more secure. Here in Broward County, we meet the standard for safety. I believe as a board, we just want to say we don't want to meet the standard. We want to set the standard. I believe that we're going to push to not only just be the safe district in Florida, we want to be the safest district in the country. So what do we have to do? So when it comes to clear backpacks, I understand that a lot of people feel it's a, false perceived safety measure. But for us, it's a layer. That's just a layer that many things that we're trying to push to make our district safer. And I'm going to use an example. We saw this 2 weeks ago, and Channel 10 reported this, that a situation that a father put a loaded weapon inside his elementary school student's backpack, his son's backpack. And the son made it to school, had no knowledge that the gun was in the backpack. So I just used that situation to ask when it comes to clear backpacks, because would the father do the same thing if it was a clear backpack? I think that he would think twice. So if it's just one situation that I could prevent of a weapon getting onto a school campus, I'm all about it. But for me, it's a lot of people are getting the wrong idea, thinking we're saying clear backpacks and thinking that's the only thing that we're going to do. No, it's just a layer of multiple conversations that we want to have of how we're going to secure our schools.
Yeah, understood. I wanted to ask you, Dan Foganholi, about you. You were with the governor this week, so was I, when he signed this a whole slate of education bills into law. Some of those were actually bipartisan supported bills. Comes with things like a teacher's bill of rights, giving teachers a bit more leeway and discipline in their classroom, attention to eliminating social media during class. Some of them were not so bipartisan, and one of those was a bill, it's labeled paycheck protection, but it's really about putting rules and mandates on teachers' unions. And you were fully supportive of that, and I wanted to sort of get your opinion on that, because in our next segment, we're going to have someone from the state teachers union also talk about the lawsuit filed against it. So what is it about what some are calling a union-busting bill that is favorable for you?
Yeah, I mean, well, for us, and I see that the governor signed that. Of course, I'm not a state legislator. They're in support of the governor, of course, for, term limits. I was glad to get that marker when he signed that, because I'm in support of that. But when it came to that bill, it's just really teacher empowerment. When you have had the decision to, be able to take money out of your check and to have that And he spoke about that, that day, about talking about feeling pressured into agreeing to that. But just having that choice is something that they're giving the teachers back and giving more empowerment to our teachers.
How is the district? We've had the union president, Daniel Foganholi, has been on this program. How is the relationship between the union in Broward and your school board? How would you characterize it?
I could speak myself personally. I get along with President Fusco really well. And for me, it's always having and being open to listen. We always have to remember, regardless of whether it be union, the school board, staff, we're all on the same team here. We all have the end goal of making sure that our kids have a safe environment, a good education, and it's important to have a good relationship. So for me and President Fusco, I'm always open to listen to her. We have a good relationship, but I feel like with pressures all the time, they want school boards and unions to battle, and I don't think that's healthy for the students by the end of the day. And I believe we have a healthy relationship, but we should build on that to make it better.
I wanted to, in the short time we have together, ask you about the search for a superintendent. There were 26 people that applied, 15 qualified, at least one backed off. It's kind of a drama, way too much of a detailed drama to get into in the short time we have together. So I'm just going to lay out, give us an update.
Yeah, we're going to be getting updates this week. And what happens in the school board, that's not drama, Glenna. I feel like almost everything feels like a drama. But for us, I've made my point very clear. In Broward, we've been doing this whole thing, and we don't want a superintendent. We want the superintendent. And that's why we opened up that search to make more people. We knew more people wanted to apply for the job, so we opened it up. And we believe that Broward is a great place to be. It's been a lot of controversy, a lot of pressure here on our board, but this is a great district. We have the best students, the best staff. And it's the best place to be.
That's so nice to hear. So nice to hear. And the devil is always in those details. Dan Foganholi, always great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Glenna, and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, sir.